Imagine you are um, walking through the dusty, totally bustling center of an ancient Israelite encampment.
Right. Just chaos everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Everywhere you look, there's like farmers tending tools, families cooking, merchants haggling over grain and stuff.
The normal, everyday ancient grind.
Right. But then, walking right through the middle of this crowd, you see someone who just brings you to a dead stop.
Yeah.
Their hair is incredibly long, completely wild and untrimmed, and they bypass a vendor selling fresh grapes. They turn down a cup of wine at a gathering, and they just carry this aura of intense, almost intimidating separation.
You're just staring at them.
Totally. You are looking at a Nazarite. And the wildest part, that person isn't some hereditary priest. That is literally just your neighbor.
Which is crazy for that time period.
It really is. Welcome to today's deep dive, and right off the bat, may God bless your day and your entire week as you join us.
It's wonderful to be here. And I mean, the scene you just painted perfectly captures the tension of the source material we're unpacking today.
Yeah, we are digging into the book of Numbers today, specifically chapter 6, using all these great historical and theological insights from the Holman and NABA study Bibles.
Which are so helpful for getting the ancient context.
Absolutely. And our mission today is to look at two, deeply connected concepts that are sitting right next to each other in the text.
Right, side by side.
Yeah. So we start with this extreme, agonizingly strict lifestyle vow that was open to anyone, and we end up at an actual archaeological discovery involving one of the most famous blessings in human history.
It is a remarkable progression, honestly. The chapter moves from the absolute pinnacle of demanding human effort.
Like trying so hard to be holy.
Exactly right, to the pure, unmerited grace of a divine blessing.
So let's start with that human effort part. When we think about ancient Israel and, the people who worked in the tabernacle or the temple, we usually think of a very exclusive club.
Oh, very exclusive.
Right, like the Levites and the priests.
Yeah, the religious structure back then was heavily stratified. I mean, it was fundamentally based on your lineage.
You couldn't just submit a resume.
No, not at all. If you wanted to serve in the tabernacle, you literally had to be born into the tribe of Levi.
Right.
And to be a priest offering sacrifices, you had to be a direct descendant of Aaron. The system had very specific age brackets, physical requirements. You were born into your religious duty. It wasn't an application process. It was a bloodline.
Which is why the Nazarite vow completely upends the system.
Totally.
Because the notes in the Holman and NAA study Bibles, they point out that this special dedication was open to anyone. Like, it explicitly states it was for both men and women.
Which is huge.
It is. In an ancient world where religious access is usually guarded by these really strict hierarchies, giving the average person in the community democratized access to the highest levels of holiness. That just seems revolutionary.
What's fascinating here is that this democratized access shifts the focus entirely from ancestry to agency.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it wasn't about who your parents were anymore. It was about your personal zeal. It provided a formal, recognized pathway for common people in the faith community to reach this elite level of service.
Wow.
An everyday Israelite could essentially step up and say, I am choosing to consecrate myself entirely to God, mirroring the separation of the high priest.
Man, it really reminds me of someone today deciding to sign up for an extreme, grueling endurance event.
Yeah, like an Ironman or something.
Exactly, like an ultramarathon for the soul. Or maybe a radical lifestyle reset, like a monk's silent retreat.
Right.
But the catch is, you aren't going off to a secluded mountaintop monastery, you're doing it at home. You are living out this extreme vow right in the middle of your normal community, surrounded by all the temptations you're swearing off.
And living a consecrated life in the midst of ordinary life is, frankly, significantly harder than just isolating yourself.
Oh, I bet. You're watching everyone else eat the good food.
Exactly. And generally, an Israelite would take this vow for a specific, predetermined period, perhaps 30 days or maybe a year.
Okay, so it wasn't always forever.
Usually not, no. But the sources do remind us of a few famous cases of lifelong Nazarites.
Oh.
Individuals like Samson, Samuel, and in the New Testament, John the Baptist, who are often, dedicated to this lifestyle by their mothers before they were even born.
I just can't even imagine the pressure of a lifelong vow. But, I mean, even if you just sign up for 30 days, you have to follow 3 incredibly strict rules.
Very strict.
And when I first read these, I'll be honest, they felt a bit random to me.
A lot of people feel that way.
Right. But the study notes show that each rule actually carries a massive amount of symbolism. So let's look at the diet first. Total abstinence from the vine.
And total means absolute. The text forbids wine, obviously, but it goes much further than that.
Yeah, it bans strong drink, vinegar made from wine, any form of grape juice, and even fresh grapes or raisins. Like, you can't even eat the seeds or the skins of the grapes.
It's incredibly thorough. The translation notes clarify a bit of the language here, actually.
Oh, what do they say?
Well, the term strong drink is translated from the Hebrew word shakar, meaning fermented drinks. But the true cultural weight, it lies in the ban on the grapevine itself.
Okay, why the grapevine specifically?
So the Holman notes suggest that in the ancient Near East, the grapevine was the ultimate symbol of a settled agricultural lifestyle.
Oh, because it takes a long time to grow.
Exactly. Cultivating a productive vineyard takes years of remaining in one place, tending the soil, building infrastructure. It basically represents the comforts of civilization.
Okay, so it's not just about avoiding alcohol then. By swearing off grapes entirely, the Nazarite is symbolically breaking away from the comforts of a settled, predictable society.
Precisely. They are deliberately stepping back into a nomadic wilderness mindset.
Like when they were wandering in the desert.
Right. They are publicly declaring that their reliance is entirely on God, not on the cultivated luxuries of human agriculture. It's this daily physical reminder of total dependence.
Wow, that makes the second restriction even more visible, I think, the prohibition on haircuts.
Yes.
Because for the entire duration of the vow, a razor literally cannot touch their head. They just let their hair grow totally wild.
And the Anabae Study Bible points out a brilliant linguistic connection here.
I love these word connections. What is it?
Well, the Hebrew word for this specific dedication or consecration is nezer. And that exact same word is used elsewhere in the biblical text to describe the high priest's golden crown.
Wait, really? The high priest's crown?
Yeah, the exact same word.
That is incredible. So their uncut hair literally functions as their crown.
It does. The uncut hair was a highly visible physical crown.
That's wild.
It served as a constant public reminder to their family, their community, and themselves, honestly, of their total consecration to the Lord. It was an unavoidable marker that this person was set apart.
Okay, let's unpack this next one, though, because I want to push back on the third restriction.
It's a tough one.
It is. This is where the vow moves from just being difficult to being deeply agonizing. The third rule is a total ban on coming anywhere near a dead body. And the text does not pull any punches here. It says that even if your own father, mother, brother, or sister dies, you cannot go near them.
It is unquestionably the most demanding aspect of the vow.
Yeah, because in ancient Near Eastern culture, honoring your parents in death, like ensuring they were buried properly and participating fully in the mourning customs, that was one of the highest moral and social duties a human being had.
Absolutely paramount.
That is exactly why I struggle with it. If your parent dies, every fiber of your humanity demands that you grieve, that you seek closure, that you honor them.
Of course.
So commanding someone to suppress that natural human affection feels jarring, maybe even cruel. Why would God demand that?
Well, it underscores a radical, absolute theological point.
Okay.
This extreme purity requirement demonstrated that the Nazarite's dedication to God superseded absolutely every earthly tie.
Even family.
Even family. It was higher than family loyalty. It was higher than the natural human grieving process. You have to remember the theological context here.
Right.
God is the author of life, and the realm of the dead is heavily associated with impurity and the curse of sin in this framework.
I see.
By completely avoiding death, the Nazarite is aligning themselves entirely with the God of life, even at the immense cost of their own emotional closure and social expectations.
It really paints a picture of just how heavy this commitment was. Like, it wasn't just some casual spiritual exercise.
No, not at all.
It was an agonizingly strict separation that isolated you from your own family's grief, which, makes me wonder about the fragility of it all.
What do you mean?
Like, what happens if you mess up? Not intentionally, but just by the sheer chaos of living in a crowded community.
Oh, well, the text anticipates that chaos. It provides a very specific protocol for accidental contamination.
Right, because the sources outline this absolute nightmare scenario.
It really is a nightmare for them.
If you are walking down the street, keeping your vow, honoring all the rules, and someone suddenly drops dead right next to you.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah. You didn't seek out a funeral, you didn't intentionally break the rule, but accidental contact happens, and boom, you are instantly defiled. The head of your dedication, that crown of hair we talked about, is now ritually unclean.
And the process to remediate that accident is intense.
Oh, I bet. What do they have to do?
You are basically placed in a holding pattern for 7 days,
Just waiting.
just waiting in ritual impurity. Then, on the 7th day, you must shave your head completely, losing that visible crown.
Oh, man.
Then on the 8th day, you must bring sacrifices to the priest at the tent of meeting, specifically 2 doves, or pigeons, one for a sin offering and one for a burnt offering, along with a year-old male lamb for a guilt offering.
Let's talk about the psychological weight of that for a
Yeah.
second. You sit with your failure for a full week. You shave the hair you've been growing, maybe for months. And then the text drops the real hammer. The sources point out that all the days you served prior to that accident,
They're gone.
they are entirely lost. They do not count. You have to start the entire vow over from day one.
Just imagine being on day 59 of a 60-day vow.
I would be absolutely devastated. Honestly, it feels a little unforgiving. You didn't even do anything wrong on purpose.
It is harsh, but I suppose it emphasizes the absolute razor-edge perfection required to maintain this level of human holiness.
It's just incredibly fragile.
It really highlights the impossibility of maintaining perfect purity through human effort alone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if we look at the alternative scenario,
Yeah.
let's say you make it. You successfully complete the predetermined days.
You dodge all the grapes and all the dead bodies.
Exactly.
Eh.
Exiting the vow was not a quiet affair. It was a massive, elaborate, and incredibly expensive community event.
Oh, yeah. The list of required sacrifices in the Holman notes is staggering to me.
It's a lot.
You have to bring a year-old, unblemished male lamb for a burnt offering, a female lamb for a sin offering, and a ram for a peace or fellowship offering.
Plus all the grain.
Right. On top of that, a whole basket of unleavened bread, cakes mixed with oil, and wafers smeared with oil, along with the standard grain and drink offerings. That is a small fortune in livestock and agricultural wealth for an average Israelite family.
It really is. It proves that entering the presence of God, making these vows, and claiming this level of holiness was a profound economic and spiritual investment.
Definitely.
But the emotional climax of the completion ritual isn't actually the wealth being handed over.
What is it?
The final act takes place right at the entrance to the tent of meeting. The Nazirite finally shaves their head. They remove the nazar.
And they don't just sweep it into a corner?
No. They take that hair, the physical, literal symbol of their devotion, and they place it directly into the fire burning under the peace offering.
Wow. I can just imagine the smell of that fire, the visual of watching months or years of your identity literally going up in smoke.
It is a profound physical symbol of surrendering and handing one's entire self over to God. You grew this crown exclusively for Him, and now you are returning it to Him in the fire of fellowship.
That's a powerful image.
It is. And once the hair is burning, the priest takes the boiled shoulder of the ram and some of the unleavened bread and waves them before the Lord.
And it is only after all of that, like the agonizing rules, the massive expense, the shaving, the burning, only then does the text explicitly say the Nazirite may drink wine.
The vow is officially over.
Right. They can step back into the comforts of the community life they had left behind.
It is an incredible, exhausting picture of human devotion.
It sounds exhausting.
But if we pull back and look at the structure of Numbers chapter 6 as a whole, this is exactly where the text does something breathtaking.
Yeah, this is the pivot that really caught my attention in the notes. We just spent all this time watching people work incredibly hard to prove their dedication, right? Tracking the days, dodging grapes, avoiding their own parents' funerals, and bringing a literal farm's worth of sacrifices. And then instantly, right after this massive display of human effort, the text shifts gears completely.
The sudden shift.
It moves to priests pronouncing a blessing on the people. So why the sudden shift from human work to a freely given blessing?
The Endabaye Study Bible notes clarify this contrast beautifully, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The Nazirite vow represents the extraordinary, painful lengths a human being might go to in order to reach up toward God.
Reaching up, right?
But the Aaronic blessing, which immediately follows it in the text, reveals that God's ultimate will is to reach down and bless every Israelite, not just the hyper-dedicated ascetics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, God's grace and favor are not things you have to earn through extreme asceticism or perfect rule following. The blessing is pronounced over the whole community simply because they belong to Him.
That is so comforting after all those strict rules. And this blessing isn't just a nice piece of abstract theology either.
No, it's very tangible.
Yeah, it's grounded in hard, undeniable archaeological fact. The NWA notes mention a discovery that is, frankly, an archaeological mind-blower.
Oh, the Kitef Hinnom find.
Yes, In Jerusalem, in a place called Ketef Hinnom, excavators found a Jewish tomb dating all the way back to the 6th or 7th century BC.
Which is incredible because that places the discovery right around the time of the Babylonian exile.
So really old.
We're talking hundreds of years before the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Exactly. And inside this ancient tomb, they found a tiny rolled up silver amulet.
A silver amulet.
Yeah. And inscribed on that silver making it the absolute oldest archaeological find in Jerusalem containing the covenant name of God, Yahweh, is this exact priestly blessing from number 6.
It's amazing that it survived.
It wasn't just a text recited in a temple. People actually wore it around their necks. They carried it into their graves.
Because the words themselves carried immense tangible weight for them. Let's actually break down the lines of this blessing, because the study notes provide incredible depth for each phrase.
Yeah, let's do it.
It begins with, "The Lord bless you and keep you."
And the sources explain that in the ancient context, bless and keep wasn't just a vague wish for good vibe.
But it wasn't abstract.
It meant tangible physical realities. It meant rain for your crops, having children, physical health, and actual protection or defense from invading enemies. It is God actively guarding his people.
The blessing then moves to its second tier. "The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you."
I love that imagery.
The metaphor here is incredibly powerful. The shining face of God is likened to the sun radiating light and warmth. It expresses a smiling God.
A smiling God. That imagery is so subversive when you think about the ancient world.
How so?
Well, most ancient Near Eastern deities were depicted as angry, capricious, and constantly demanding appeasement. You're always trying to keep them from destroying you.
That's very true.
But this text describes a God whose presence radiates grace, a smiling God bringing his covenant mercy directly to you.
And the third line deepens that intimacy even further. "The Lord lift up his countenance or his face upon you."
What does that mean exactly in that culture?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the cultural picture of ancient Near Eastern kings, a monarch sitting on an elevated throne would often look down or look away entirely, ignoring the pleas of commoners.
Because they're beneath him.
Exactly. So for a king to lift his face towards you meant you had his undivided attention.
Oh, wow. It means total attentive care.
Yes.
God isn't distracted. He is leaning in, making eye contact, and fully focusing on the needs and desires of the individual standing before him.
Which leads to the final, culminating gift of the blessing.
Yeah.
"And give you peace." The Hebrew word there is shalom.
And as the sources point out, shalom is so much richer than just not being at war.
Oh, absolutely.
It is not just the absence of conflict. Shalom means total, complete well-being. It is wholeness in your body, health in your relationships, clarity in your mind, and perfect standing with God.
The chapter then concludes by giving the profound reason for this blessing.
Right.
God says to Moses, "So they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I will bless them."
Put my name on them.
Yes, putting his name on them meant reflecting the fullness of God's character onto the people. The notes make a beautiful connection here to the New Testament, actually, pointing out that this concept is echoed later when Jesus says he comes in his Father's name, radiating the exact character, grace, and fullness of God to the community.
It completely reframes the narrative of the first half of the chapter. We start with people desperately trying to separate themselves for God, and we end with God freely attaching his name to the people.
It does. And that contrast leaves us with a final, provocative thought to mull over as we finish.
What's that?
Well, in the first half of number 6, the Nazirite grows and wears a visible crown of hair to show their dedication to God. It's a symbol of immense human discipline, fragility, and effort.
A lot of effort.
But in the Aaronic blessing, God places his name upon the people, freely offering his shining face, his undivided attention, and his shalom.
That's a huge contrast.
It prompts us to look at our own lives and wonder, what is a stronger, more defining force? Is it our vows, our strict rules, and our exhausting promises to the divine? Or is it the divine's unearned promises and blessings toward us?
Wow. That is a brilliant question to carry with us and a perfect place to wrap up our journey through this text. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Take care, and remember, God blesses all of you.